Welcome back friends, this is Fraser from FF Art Studio. In this tutorial we'll be sculpting a child in Zbrush. So let's get started. In the first part we'll block out the basic shapes. So the first thing, as you can see, is I've taken a 3D sphere and hit the edit button. So you can take the 3D sphere from the tool menu as I've taken and hit the make polymesh 3D button. Once you made that, you can see I have set up the scene with the front view and the side view of the reference we are going to follow. If you want to know how we have done that, you can click the I button off and check the video in which I have shown you how to set up the reference. Either way, basically it is there in the Documents tab. Under that, you'll get the options for importing the images of the front view as well as the side view. So you can do from there as well. So we'll use this sphere to form the cranium of the head. So let's move it in the right position. You can hit the W button to get the gizmo or the manipulator to move it, scale it, rotate it. We'll now hit the Shift Control button to move to the selection menu, and we'll hit Knife Rect to slice off portions from the sides of the cranium, as you can see, because this portion will be flat. Okay, once that's done, we'll take the Move brush with BMV as shortcut. You can reduce and increase the brush size using S and dragging with the middle mouse. Also keep a note that we are working with symmetry on, so keep it on with the X button, toggle on and off. Next, we'll create the jaw mesh. For that, append another 3D sphere from the subtool menu. Select it and move it in the right position. Let's scale it from the side and position it. Once that's done, we'll again chop off some of the portions. So we'll chop off the back portion of it and chop off from the top also. So using the same knife, rect, with Control and Shift, we'll give it a shape for the jaw mesh. So that's done. Now let's again move using the Move brush and get the shape laid out. Yeah, with that done, it's suggested to use the Dynamesh for the blockout phase. So with the mesh selected, move into the Geometry tab, and under that you'll find Dynamesh. So do some basic settings for Dynamesh, and depending on how much resolution you want, you'll get the poly count as per that. Hit the Dynamesh button and keep it on. I've created a separate shell for all my special tools, so I have my Dynamesh there below. Press Alt and click over a mesh to select it. So once that's done, you can see the forehead corners are flattened. So you can use the Trim Dynamic brush and flatten out those portions. Next, let's add the neck. For that, we'll append a 3D cylinder. So select the cylinder and position and scale it. The neck is generally kept at an angle, bending forward. So yeah, try to maintain that and Dynamesh it. Next, we'll come to the torso part or the upper part of the chest. For that, again, we'll append a 3D sphere for that. Select it and let's position and scale it. Now using the Move brush, we'll just shape it out using the silhouette of the reference. One more thing, don't forget to update the Dynamesh, hitting the Control and left click dragging along the screen where the mesh is not there. That will update the topology of the mesh. Now let's do the belly. For that, again, we'll append another 3D sphere for that. and in the same way we'll select position scale. And don't forget to hit the dynamics button. Now we'll shape the belly using the move brush. As you can see, we are using all the views, the front view, the side view, as well as working in perspective. So it's necessary to work in perspective as well to get the basic forms right. So that's the main motive and the purpose of this part of blocking out, so that we get the basic forms right. It is not about going into the detailing of the body shapes or sculpt or anatomy, but it's about to get the basic shapes of the anatomy right. Next, moving on to the hip. Again, we'll append a 3D sphere and follow the same process for scaling it to get the basic size and getting the basic shape by using the move brush. With that done, now let's hop on to modeling the legs. So for that, we'll append a 3D sphere from the subtool menu. The same process. First we'll position it and we'll do one of the legs. So we'll place it just next to the hip from where the leg joint starts. Okay, so yeah, almost there. Yeah, and for this we'll use a special masking technique. So we'll switch on to the masking menu by hitting Control and we'll select the rect mask. So yeah, don't forget to hit the dynamesh before masking it. So we'll mask off the upper portion actually. So you can invert the mask or you can do it directly. And then we'll push down by moving the gizmo and scaling it towards the knee joint. Okay, so from the front view, side view. So get an approximate position and rotate it a slight bit. So more or less to get the the lower part of the kneecap. Next, we'll append another 3D sphere, and this time we'll do the lower leg. Okay, lower part of the leg, that is starting from the knees to the ankle. So from the knees, we'll position it. And again, by using the masking method, we'll mask off the upper part. So you can do the lower part and invert the mask and drag it down using the gizmo, scale it a bit, and place it at the ankle, also from the side view. It's now time to start sculpting the calf using the move brush and the rest of the lower leg. So just follow along. Let's now adjust the kneecap area. Now let's move on to the arms. So for that we'll append another 3D sphere for the shoulder first. So we'll create the shoulder, then we'll create the arm, and then we'll create the forearm using the same process. So just follow along. For the arm, we can just duplicate the same sphere from the shoulder. So just hit the duplicate button. And for the forearm, we can just duplicate the arm mesh. With the basic shapes done, it's now time to start mirroring the arms and the legs from the left side to the right side of the character. So for that, go into Z plugin, and under Z plugin, go to Subtool Master. Under that, you'll get the mirror options. So you can merge it or you can keep it separate. So we are flipping it along the x-axis, so we'll do that. As I mentioned earlier, I've already created a custom shell where I have all the special tools which I need regularly. So as you can see in the screen below, and I can do the operations very quickly in 1 or 2 steps. So if you want to learn how to create a custom shell, just comment below and let me know, and I'll create a video especially for that. So with that, mirroring process is done, and all the parts are done apart from arm of the character and the feet, and especially some of the facial features like the nose, ears and eyes. So we'll start working on that. For the eyelids, we'll duplicate the eye sphere and scale it a bit. So we'll make 2 copies of it, one for the lower eyelid and one for the upper eyelid. Just crop it using the rect select tool. Crop the lower half or the upper half, either way, to get the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid. It's hidden, we'll just delete it from delete hidden under morph topology from geometry tab. With both the eyelids done, now it's time to just position it, rotate it and move it, and scale it if necessary to get it in the right place. And if you can't see the back faces of the mesh, just scroll down and move to display properties. Under that, just turn on the double option so you can see the back faces as well. To create the iris and the hole in the eye for the pupil, we'll use the live boolean method and we'll subtract the iris mesh from the main eyeball mesh. If you want to know how it is done in detail, you can check out another tutorial which I have created specifically for the eye. So hit the eye button above and just check out that tutorial so you'll know in detail how it's done. Now let's start mirroring the eyelids and the eye. As you can see, I've got the various parts of the eye, the eyeball, the iris and the pupil mesh. Since we have used the live boolean method, now it's time to create a mesh from it. For that, we'll go into the boolean options and create boolean mesh from it. Once that's done, that will create a separate tool for the eye. We'll just append this eyeball mesh into our original scene. So moving on to the original scene, and we'll turn off all the subtools which we create for the eye, and we'll append this boolean mesh for the eye. So that's how we can create the eye using boolean method and use it in the project we're working on. Let's mirror the eye now. And with this, we are done with the basic blocking of the child character in Zbrush, apart from the palm and the feet. Okay, so for the palm and the feet, they are very detailed objects, or you can say parts, since they have the fingers and the toes. So what we'll do is we'll do that separately in another tutorial. For this project, we'll continue. I already have a palm created, so as you can see, I just imported that palm mesh. I placed it in the position. So I'll just mirror it. Now moving on to the last part, that is the feet. So I'll just append the feet which I have already created. As you can see, it's a pretty low poly mesh. I created this in Maya. So you can see it has a proper geometry, everything. So I'll just place it in the right position. I'll have a separate video but I'll show how this is created, how I have created this, so you can just follow along. And please pardon me, some of the terminologies I use normally used in Maya, like scene and other stuff. So for ZBrush, the terminologies may vary with projects or with document, right? Since I'm constantly switching between Maya and ZBrush while modeling sculpting, so just bear with me for that. And thanks a lot for staying so far, friends. I hope to produce more and more videos, tutorials, especially for beginners who are learning, who want to start their career as a 3D artist or a modeling artist or a sculptor. So I have lots of videos in line, and already some basic videos are already there in my channel, so you can check them out. It helps you to learn, create basic modeling and sculpting in Maya and ZBrush. Along with that, I also have a playlist of music. So I also do some music creation work, composing some music. So feel free to check them out as well. Listen to them while working. And let me know your comments if you want to know more about what I do or anything else you want me to do specifically related to some artwork in 3D or in 2D as well, because I do some digital painting as well, but I don't get much time to do that now. So let me know. Meanwhile, I just gave some thickness to the eyelids using the Z modeler brush. So basically it acts as a tool, and just extrude them a bit. Yeah, this looks good. I would also like to mention one more thing, that is, if you have seen my previous videos, initially I would do voiceovers, my original voice, but then I got some sore throat problem for a couple of months, maybe. Even now I'm having a little sore throat, so it's not that clear. Excuse me for that. And so I got that voice done by someone else because of that. So you may hear a different voice. So this is my original voice. Okay, Fraser Charles Francis, and from there you get the name of the channel as FF Art Studio, F for Fraser and F for Francis. And some places you will see as my name as FC_Francis, so that is Fraser Charles Francis. Yeah. Just wanted to share this as well to my current subscribers and to my new viewers as well. So coming on to the lips, not going for a detailed sculpting, just blocking out the shape for the lip. Since we are still in the blocking phase, you can certainly get the form for the lip ready, so that once you remesh it, it is still there, and then you can do the detailing from there on. So sometimes as an artist you'll tend to get carried away, so you need to control that as well, because the process otherwise will not go in the right manner and you'll be wasting a lot of time. If you're working for a deadline work, if you're working for your personal project and you have a lot of time, then does not matter much, but then still it's better to follow the conventional way of doing the things. Yeah, so with that done, I think we are almost coming to the end of this first part of this child sculpting blocking tutorial. And join me in the next tutorial or the next part of this series of child sculpting, where I'll be joining all the parts, and then obviously I'll remesh and we'll go into some detailed sculpting. Not too much, but just enough for the beginners to learn from it. So see you guys. Thanks for joining, and see you in the next tutorial. Goodbye. Have a safe day.